Okay, I'm going to do just a little quick little video just to capture some of the things I've been doing lately. This is alpaca fleece that I had felted up and stretched, and I put it in the wash, and of course it went and stretched all out of shape, which is kind of a funkiness I was sort of going for. And I kind of put it aside because it had stretched and had holes and everything in it, so it wasn't as wet felted as all the work I put into it. See, the thing is with these are seconds. What they mean by seconds is that the fibers are generally too short to be spun into a longer yarn that you use for knitting purposes or spinning or what have you. But they're very good for felting. They're still great fibers. You still have the lusciousness of the alpaca. So what I did is I wanted to make kind of a funky scarf, and I took some really nice vibrant wool like yarn that I had and I've accumulated and collected at various stores and thrift stores over time. And just recently we did another little trip. So I'm doing both sides, and I'm doing, I'm sewing it and I'm weaving it in, and then I'm going to add some nice beads and everything for this too. So these are just some of the wools and the fibers that I'm using, and some of these really nice funky, I just love this stuff, and they're all 100% yarn. This is my latest purchase at a thrift store. Oh my gosh, this is unspun 100% wool yarn. It's not like it's been pulled and ready to go, but it's not spun into, so they would take 3 of these and spin it into a yarn, and so it's it's perfect for adding into my and there's a green one too. Can you believe it? I got both of these for, I'm not even going to say the price because it's just so ridiculous. But really, really high end. So what I did is I actually incorporated that into, you can see where the green is, and then I incorporated that into my wet felting. This is actually going to be a top to a hat. And I haven't quite decided whether I want to do, oh look at this, you can even see some of the vegetable matter. Still got stuck in there. Oh my gosh, I got carpal tunnel from doing all the carding of the alpaca fleece. I got bags and bags of it, and it's very so what I've been doing is I've been blending it with wool rovings because it actually will felt a little bit better, and it makes a sturdier fiber, a cloth. So this here is going to be, you can see that's nice and solid. So this is going to be the top of a hat. And I'm going to all sew that in, and the brim will be probably just black or whatever, I don't know. It'll probably be similar to the pillbox hat that I got here. So some of the other things I was doing, so I got a lot of chiffon silk and hemmed up the sides. So these are going to be used. This is what it started out like. Very nice light chiffon. It's excellent for doing Nuno felting. And Nuno felting is what, do you say? Well, Nuno felting is when you incorporate wool roving and you felt it and rub felt it onto silk, right? So you can see where the puckers are and everything are at the back. That's where the felting has taken place with the surface wool. And you always know, you do the pinch test, if it doesn't pull away, then you know it's felted through. So these are actually what I call scarflets or neck scarves. So that's if you don't want to wear a great big bulky scarf, but you just want to wrap something around your neck to keep the chill off. If you've got one of those nice coats that do up very nice and tight, but you don't want the bulkiness of the scarf, these are perfect, and they're quite fashionable too. So I hand painted them though first with the silk. I hand painted them with Pebeo, the set of colors. I just love them. They're like a translucent color set. This is another one that I did using this lovely yarn here, so it's perfect. It just felted in beautifully, and so these are more lightweight ones. I painted these first. It does look better if it's painted first as opposed to just doing a wool roving on it for some reason. I'm not sure if maybe because it's just too stark, the white. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a button, or I'm going to make up some pins, you know, to tie these closed. Maybe even do some buttons. So there's another one with this beautiful. This is a wool roving that is mixed with tussa silk. So it's been blended with various purples, and then there's tussa silk tops that are in it, and it's kind of got a really nice luminous look to it. So I don't know if you can really appreciate that or not. I'm going to flip this light on just in case it's still a little dark, because I've got my my skylight above me here, but it's kind of a cloudy day now. But you can see I've also, you know, so it doesn't matter whichever way. So that's why I'm kind of leaning towards maybe just doing pins, because some people, you know, it's a preference. Maybe they want this side out, maybe they want this side out. So that way it gives you options. So this one here is also a hand painted first, and then the beautiful, isn't that nice? Just pretty. It just gets, I love the colors. And so just different variations. Now these are what you call I hand painted these with the silks, but then we took leaves out of the backyard, and it's called sun something. But you take the shapes of your leaves, you put your leaves over top, and you lay them in the sun. And what happens is that it literally bleaches out the color, and you're left behind with this lovely, beautiful leaf design, or whatever it is you put on it. So then what I did afterwards is I took my paints, and then I kind of did some detail work on it. It's very nice and light. And I may use that as a lining for the inside of my wool hats, just so they don't feel itchy against the skin. I'm really a big believer in natural fibers. They're better for your skin and your body. And of course silk being the top of the list, and it's so lovely to just against your skin, you know. So, but anyway, here's another one, and I did them with you know, blends of greens and yellows. So there's all the leaves I got from my garden. These are actually weeds, weed leaves, but they got lovely leaves on them. You know, that's actually a basic one. I'm going to probably touch that one up. This one here I did with a combination of Seta colors and some ink dispersed. They're fabric ready. You just have to heat set them when you're done. So just kind of did a little funky one. This one here, my honey did this one. I had wanted to just, you know, be a little loosey-goosey, and he put all the little leaves on meticulously, and they came out like little hearts and stuff. So I love that one. And maybe because it's made by him though too, but anyway, it's okay. So this is another real light one. I kind of got a thing for orbs. I've been doing ode to orbs and stuff like that lately. So there's another real light colored one. Really nice. Got some color. So I may even do more detail on that. Here's another one. Just you know, kind of a leafy type of a design sort of thing. You know, I don't know if it's if you can see it well enough. If you put something behind it, you know, just to kind of give it a better contrast. Maybe this one here, eh? Yeah, see how the different colors really bring out, you know, putting the other one behind it brought out the browns, put this one behind it, just made everything pop. So, and then this one here is a work in progress. I'm doing something with that. I'm using the fabric dyes as well as the Seta colors with that. So those are some of those. These are the real woolly, wintry ones that I've done. This is a solid. I made these little pins here. You can see them in little pins. Even made the whole pin itself out of the wire, right? So it's just a little shawl pin. But this is done with a blend of wools. And you can see I dyed it on the back so it wasn't so stark, and then, you know, just fold it over like this, whatever, you know, and then put your pin in to hold it closed. I have to sharpen up the ends on these though, so that'll be something I'll do down the road. But so these are some others that I had done, right? This is a nice little, and I actually paired these up. I made some of my felted medallions, and I made them into brooches or pins, you can see on the back. And then I added that actually to the neck scarf as well, the necklet. Or I think they call them scarflets. I think that's what they're called. But yeah, you can see that. Right? It goes quite nicely with this one. So this is also done with the wool roving with the tussa silk tops, and I kind of did that in bits and pieces, and that came out quite nice. So it's a lot of work. But you know what? It's so magical the way the wool felts up. I think it's just lovely the way the whole process is. And here's a real vibrant one. This will be nice for the autumn. This one here. And then of course, got the nice felted, my medallions, what I call them mandalas. My mandalas, I was on a mandala kick. And here's kind of like a khaki long scarf that I had hand painted, and I sort of did it with real muted greens, eggplant color, you know, like a nice mauve. This is called lettuce, and just some really nice colors. And of course, I'm just going to show one of my little funky hats. Well, this is what I've been doing too, is been recycling vintage wool blankets and making them into funky little elephant hats. I don't know if you can see that very well there. So, and then I've lined it with a nice silk. This is a raw silk, so that, you know, just that part that lays against the face or the skin, it isn't irritating. And then of course I felted these funky little spikes out of my wool rovings, and just to add a real funkiness to it. It's kind of geared towards the younger kids. So I did that in various, and I did some others. You know, this is a vintage wool fabric. It's a woven type. It's very lightweight. It's really nice and soft. It's not bad at all. I lined this actually with a linen, and then of course I felted on a nice little felted flower with some beads, you know, just to liven it up a little bit. So these are going to be sold at the show as well. Here's one that's just kind of, this is a nice wool fabric. It's a vintage fabric as well. And then just lined with a nice silk, just a basic silk. And then topped off with a nice felted flower and some little felted balls on the back. So I've got quite a few of those. I don't need to show every one of them, but this is one of my favorite colors, of course, is pink. And I did the little pink felted spikes on the top of this one too. And then of course what I did is I actually took one of the lovelier with the silk, it's got the silk tussa, the silk tops right inside it. So I just felted that right on top of that. I'm not sure if this one, yeah, what I did is I ended up sewing on top of most of these. So the other thing I wanted to show, and I don't think I have it handy here, but what I'm going to do, I'll just bring this here. These are the spikes that I made to put on top of the hats. These here are really kind of cool. I made these, I layered, felted, I did a bunch of pre-felts, and then I did them first, and then I rolled them up in a jelly roll. And then I reapplied the heat and some soaps to try and get them all felted together. And boy, that was a long process, because you want to make sure that every layer is felted into the next. So what I did after that was all done is then I put it into a hot water soak again. This is one of my little mandalas that I made. And sometimes the backs are just every bit as pretty as the fronts, huh? So this was, I just wanted to give you a real close-up of the scarf here too. Oh, and the baby booties. I got to show you the baby booties. Okay, I'll do that in a separate video because I don't want this to be too long. Or it's long already. Okay, so that's some of the things I've been working on. I got lots more to show. Ciao for now.